this will never be a conflict.
But it is.
We're good?
It is, yeah.
Okay. We'd like to welcome you to our Planning Commission meeting, today, September 23rd, 2025. We'll begin the meeting today by an invocation by Commissioner Showers, and then I will lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Our dear Father in heaven, we're grateful to be gathered here once again to discuss the needs of our wonderful city. Pray that we might have clarity, that we might have might be able to understand the issues that are before us tonight and have wisdom to make the correct decisions for our community. We are grateful for the freedoms that we enjoy in our city and in our country. We pray for unity. We pray for healing. We pray for better times ahead. We express our love to Thee and wish to do Thy desire, Thy will. We ask for these things in the name of Thy Son, Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen. Please stand. Repeat the Pledge of Allegiance with me. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. We'll begin today with an audible roll call of the commissioners. Sharon Call.
Here.
Mike Marchbanks.
Here.
Rob Callis.
Here.
Steve Johnson, here. Scott Thompson.
Here.
Jared Showers.
Here.
Karen Danielson.
Here.
And Ryan Doan is excused as our alternate. The next item on our agenda is approval of the minutes from our meeting on September 9th. The commissioners have received these minutes beforehand and have had a chance to review them. So are there any corrections or additions to these minutes? I find one little tiny minor one. On the very last item, it says, I move to adjourn the meeting. I called for a motion, and Commissioner Marchbanks actually made the motion, but that's not, but with that little tiny correction, I think the minutes look great. Any other?
You want a motion?
If there aren't any other additions or corrections, I'll have a motion to approve the minutes with that one correction.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
I will second it.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? The voting is unanimous.
Can we get these monitors turned on, Mike? Please?
Oh, yeah, they're not on.
They're very helpful.
They are.
Thank you, Commissioner Showers, for saying that. I thought they were broken, so I appreciate that. I think you missed this middle one.
Mike, this middle one, I don't think
Okay.
powered on.
There we go. I think,
Ours works.
Maybe it is broken.
it's okay, yeah, maybe, that's okay. Brittany got me a printed copy, so.
It's still
Just-
on.
Yeah, okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. The next item on our agenda, item 3, is a time for public comment. This is a time for the public to address the commission on items that aren't on the agenda. Is there anybody here for that purpose? Hearing none, we'll move on to item 4. This is a conditional use permit for heat seeker reptiles. The applicant is Kennedy Davis. And if the applicant's here, they're welcome to come and sit up. Okay. The presenting staff is Brittany Wild, and this is an administrative because it's a conditional use permit, so this won't go to the city council. Brittany?
Thank you, Planning Commission. So currently Kennedy Davis, the applicant, is not present. It is up to the Planning Commission whether they want to move this item. We have other applicants that are here tonight. So if you want to move the item to a later one and then see if maybe she shows up later on.
Do you think they will probably come?
I don't believe so. It's been kind of hard to get in contact with her.
And is there anybody here from the public for this item that can't stay, that would prefer it to be? Okay.
Okay.
If you thought the applicant was coming, I would think we would move it, but if,
Looks like there's one person on the
Okay.
way in here.
it looks like Lincoln.
It's Lincoln.
So,
Could I make a motion that we have the public hearing, but?
well, there's not a public hearing for this.
Oh, okay, it's just input, public input, and then if by chance they show up after Mr. Brown's done, I guess we could.
We emailed the applicant Thursday. We had a
Yes.
bunch of other questions about the business operation and never heard back from them. So we don't know if they're actually moving forward or not, so.
Okay.
So would,
September 12th that we had sent several questions to them, and they have not responded. They have not provided a business description or answers to our questions that we had additional questions for.
I think I can explain maybe why.
Well, so let's just talk about the procedures here a little bit, because this is not a public hearing, because it doesn't require a public hearing. But we do love to hear from the public. So I think what I would recommend, and I will get my commission's counsel on this, is that we go ahead with the presentation. It sounds like there's still questions for the applicant. Then we can entertain if we want to hear something from the public. When we can decide whether to continue it or whatever, if we want to hear from them afterwards. So that would be my recommendations. We go ahead with the presentation and then we'll go from there. Is that,
Second that.
does anybody else fear that? Okay, let's go ahead with the presentation then.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so Kennedy Davis was the applicant for Heat Seeker Reptiles. Based on Lindon City Code, there is a conditional use permit approval to use the warehouse located at 96 North, 1800 West, Unit 15 for a reptile breeding and online retail sales facility. I did want to make a note that originally we had referenced parcel number 45,430,0018, which is outlined in orange on this reference image here. That is the wrong parcel. So I just wanted to bring that to the attention of the Planning Commission. The correct parcel number is 45,430,0015, which is highlighted in this red box here. So moving forward.
The applicant put the wrong address on their application.
So we did send out the public notice that referenced that incorrect parcel number. So that's why I wanted to make that change. I don't know if that needed a motion or anything. Okay. So based on the conditional use permit, our regulations found in sections 6.16 of the Lindon City Code, which is wild and exotic animals, and 17.20 conditional uses generally, through 17.22 performance standards for conditional uses. The uses for the facility for breeding purposes and providing online sales and online educational videos about reptiles would need a conditional use permit. The business will operate for approximately 8 hours per day from 12 p.m. to 8 p.m., and there will be no public access as a retail storefront to the business, and all sales will be conducted online. Currently,
Not required by code, but that's what they intended to do. Okay,
yes.
all right.
Well, sorry, yes, because pet shops are not allowed in the light industrial zone, so that's why they would just be doing
Okay.
on stills.
All right, thank you.
So here is their floor plan, excuse me. It's approximately 758.45 square feet. They said that the reptiles will be enclosed with locked cages, and we had mailed these notices to the adjoining property owners in accordance to 17.14.50 of the code. So the applicant must apply for the business license, which will be used if the applicant receives the conditional use permit approval. The applicant is requesting a conditional use approval for the proposed property location as a reptile breeding facility and online sales of reptiles. The applicant has stated that only non-venomous reptiles will be housed at the facility and no wild or exotic animals are prohibited by Lindon City Code. State or federal regulations will be kept on site. The staff needs the confirmation of specific species that will be present. This was one of our questions that we had addressed to the applicant, and we have received no answer on what species will be there. The applicant has also indicated that daily cleaning and proper ventilation will prevent odor or unsanitary conditions, but confirmation is needed of the ventilation system and cleaning protocols to ensure impacts are minimized. Here is the applicant's responses to the questions that staff had asked. Her answers are in black there, and then our additional responses or our additional questions are in red, but again, they have not been answered. The applicant also stated that only non-venomous reptiles will be kept and that the facility will not be open to the public, and they will ensure that the reptiles do not become a nuisance or pose a risk to public health or safety. Staff will have to verify compliance of Utah Administrative Code Rule R657-3 and as part of the permitting process, excuse me. The applicant also states that the enclosures are cleaned daily and that proper ventilation will prevent odor impacts. However, staff has requested exactly how those measures will be taken. The applicant has also confirmed that no on-site raising, storage, or breeding of live rodents, mice, rabbits, or other reptile food sources will occur. And again, confirmation of secondary containment measures are needed to ensure the facility remains safe and secure against both escape and unlawful entry. So the staff, again, on September 12th, had sent several questions to the applicant about the facility, as found in Exhibit 3, which is right here on your screen. The city sent several follow-up questions that have not been answered. The questions were regarding the potential impacts of this use. Also, the business description was requested by the city, but we have not received that as well. This is necessary for the inclusion of the permit to establish a clear operational limit, and clarification of the species will be present and whether any reptiles pose a heightened risk of escape. We would also like to know what secondary containment measures will be employed in that facility. Also, in the staff analysis, we had determined that there are no details on how first responders or emergency services will be communicated or what procedures will guide staff actions during incidents such as the reptiles getting out of their cages, if there's anything that poses a danger to the facility, to the workers, or to even potential business owners in the surrounding area. The applicant also did not clarify how deceased reptiles or unhatched eggs will be disposed of in compliance with health and sanitation standards. Odor control also remains a concern. The applicant has not specified whether exhaust will vent through the roof or walls, and staff believe a clear odor mitigation plan is necessary to protect adjoining businesses. Staff also notes that the proposed hours of operation and the lack of public access do not by themselves mitigate the potential impacts identified above. For these reasons, staff recommends that if the Planning Commission chooses to approve the request, conditions be imposed to establish a maximum number of reptiles on site, require a detailed odor control and ventilation plan, specified disposal methods for animal remains, and require written emergency protocols for containment and public safety. This will ensure that the business operates responsibly while also minimizing impacts on surrounding properties.
Thank you. Any questions for staff from the commission on what they've presented?
Just one. It seems that she has used the tents like she has this operation somewhere else?
Yeah, I think they're in Salt Lake County someplace. but
Okay.
I don't remember which.
So
city.
this would be a second or relocation or something like that. Okay, okay, thank you.
What type of, what type of businesses surround this complex here?
This is in the light industrial area. So here it is up on the map. This is our light industrial zone.
Most of them are manufacturing, office warehouse type businesses. The HOA president is here, he could probably be a little more specific. There's a few auto repair businesses in there.
Could we ask him to clarify for us?
Yeah, is there, yeah.
I
so-
just have a comment. Our other place in Lindon, I realize that's in a residential area. There were some real concerns at different times with that, especially with some of the concerns that we've had with neighbors and others surrounding. My feeling is that we really need to have the additional information before we could move forward on anything. So,
Any other questions? This isn't a public hearing, but we always like to get input from the public, so if you have something you'd like to add to input for the commission, if you'd come up and state your name and speak into the microphone so we can get it on the record, we'd love to hear what you have to say.
Yeah, hi there. My name's Brian Greer. I'm the president of the management committee for the condo association down here. I'm not.
Can I have you talk just a little closer?
Can you hear me okay? Sorry about that.
It's for the recording.
I'm the president of the management committee for this condo association. There's about 11 or 12 different owners down here. There's 20 units. Like Mike Florence was saying there, there's a lot of warehouses in there. Our unit is a warehouse. People just store stuff there. There's some light manufacturing. It's not built at all for animals, guys. Not at all. We don't have the ability. There's no place there for us to handle the waste. There's concerns. I mean, your staff did a really good job, I think, of outlining all the different concerns. What I would like to share with you, and I don't know if this is something you can consider or not, but in the covenants that the owners sign when they go down there, you know, this is the declaration of condominium that's recorded down here at the county courthouse. No pets or animals, no pets or animals of any kind or nature whatsoever shall be permitted in any unit, in the common areas, or any other part of the project. If you guys allow this to go forward in our unit, we will be fining these individuals from the very first day that they set foot on the property. And so there's just a lot of reasons why this doesn't work down in that location. I like the picture. I mean, it's a nice facility. We try to keep it nice. It's not made for animals or animal waste or anything like that. I don't know if the applicant's even gonna show up. We've been talking to the owner of that unit and helping him to understand that what he's proposing to do is it's contrary to the very covenants for the location itself. So hopefully that's something that helps your decision-making. I appreciate you letting me speak. I didn't know that, I thought that was typical for these type of meetings. So I appreciate you letting me discuss it. Those are the two things I would think about. Waste, we're not equipped to handle that waste at all. And then it would be something that's contrary to the very covenants associated with owning one of those units.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
I have a question for him, if I may.
Yeah, go ahead.
If your covenants don't agree, don't allow it, and you've pointed that out to the owner, which I assume is leasing it to them?
Trying to.
Okay.
At this point, the owner doesn't want it to go through either, to be honest with you.
Well,
He's trying to back
yeah.
down to this thing.
Well, she wouldn't own it, right?
Yeah, she wouldn't own it.
Okay, so what does the owner say about that?
Well, we just told him that we're gonna fine him from day one. We're gonna fine him every single day there's animals sitting in there, and he's gonna end up having to pass it through to whoever leases the property. So I mean, I believe that's the only remedy that we would have as a condo association, because you're doing something contrary to the very covenants that you sign when you buy one.
My question is, the owner, does he understand that that's in violation of the covenants?
Yes, he does.
Okay, and his response to that is?
Well, my guess is that the applicant isn't showing up tonight because of those discussions that
okay.
he's having with the applicant, but that's just speculation.
Sure, okay, thank you.
If he doesn't want that to go through, can't he,
He wasn't aware.
Back out of it?
He just made a mistake, and he didn't realize the rules existed. When we brought them to his attention, he's trying to, I mean, he's telling me he's trying to get out of the deal.
So there's probably a lease signed that he
Who
didn't.
knows?
Yeah, something
I
like
don't
that.
know. I
Just
mean, I'm
some
kinda-
agreement.
I'm
that
kind of
he's trying to get out.
speculating,
yeah,
but when we heard, I mean, what happened is we got the notice, right? The public notice that you folks sent out. And all of a sudden I started getting texts from every owner down there saying, hey, what's going on? What's up with this? That's why I'm here tonight, because I'm the crazy guy that told them I would do this. But the bottom line is I would say a lot of the owners down there are concerned about changing the whole, we're trying to keep it nice, and we're trying to take care of the place and take care of the waste, and they're just concerned about having a bunch of animals in there, especially when they signed documents to purchase the properties that said they wouldn't put animals in there.
One question I have, since you know the property, what is it like inside as far as barriers between the properties?
There's just a wall, a stud wall.
Just a stud wall, okay.
Yeah. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Just studs and sheetrock on both sides. I happen to own one that would be 2 units, two units away from this one. And we just have a warehouse in there. We just store boxes, you know what I'm saying?
But reptiles seem to find any hole possible.
Exactly.
So I just wondering what type of, if there was any type of barrier, as we consider that,
That's all
what it's
it
like
is.
in
When
between
it was
there.
built initially, they put up a stud wall in between every one of those units.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions for the president of the homeowners association here? Thank you for coming.
Thanks, guys. Thanks
We
for letting me
appreciate
come.
it.
Appreciate it.
Anybody else that has a strong opinion, wants, we typically, like I said, we're not required to, but we do love to hear from the public, so. Okay. Commission, this is a conditional use, and so our job is to see if they can mitigate the conditions. I don't think right now, under the current information, that they have mitigated the conditions. So, do we give them time to see if they withdraw or come with with the answers. I guess I don't know how long we continue things, Mike. What's our options here?
You know what, I would ask that Mike talk to our legal counsel to see if once we've been put on notice as to CCNRs that would be violated. I don't know, I'd be curious to know if Brian Haas thinks we even ought to entertain.
Yeah, I don't think I'm not Brian, of course, but I don't think we should get into the CCNRs. Those are private contracts with the condominium association there. I think you've got two options. You can continue it for 2 weeks or just deny it based on lack of information and being able to mitigate the conditions for the conditional use permit. To be honest with you, the application's $50. If she wanted to reapply, she could do that. I mean, we spent more money sending out public notices than to cover that application, so.
Okay, I'd move that we deny the application as per the information we have tonight.
Well, when I looked at this, even looking at this, even if she'd come in and mitigated everything tonight, I'm really skeptical of this particular one because of the other reptile facility we have here. And they say, oh, there's no odor, there's no this. When I walk by there's an odor. And so I was really skeptical of this to begin with, let alone, so I'm with you. I move that we deny it.
Question. I have two thoughts. One is, I think we need more information about whether this could even legally be done with the CCNRs. If not, we just deny it. Is there a reason why we're not just continuing it to let her see and then come back? Or if we deny, does she have to pay another fee, or does she have to pay a fee both ways?
$50.
She would only have to pay it again if you deny it.
I'd be happy to pay it just so it doesn't waste our time.
I'm fine with denying. I just didn't know if you wanted
Yeah.
to just
And
continue it.
what other comments do we have from the commission before I call for an official motion?
I just feel like if she had responded to your request for additional information, that might change my feelings a little bit. Not much, but a little bit. But with the lack of response and the lack of coming tonight, and then all the other information we received, I agree with the denial.
I mean, if I don't go with that motion, it's only because I would suggest that we continue it, but.
Yeah, I would slightly lean towards continuance just to give her a chance, but that's my opinion, but.
It seems like she has been.
I
given
guess
a
it does
chance.
no harm to continue it. It sounds like she's aborted the whole idea, but
Not even
yeah.
reapply.
I would probably,
That's my guess.
I'm sorry, I'd recommend though, if we continue it, we just continue it until the next meeting, and that's the time we give her. And if we don't hear her in that time, we would proceed, but
I'd be happy to go along with
I'm
that.
fine either way, but I slightly lean. Karen, you were gonna say something?
Oh, it sounds like she's moved on, maybe looking somewhere else. I mean, that's what I
I
would say.
changed my motion to continue the,
I'll second that.
Yeah.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to continue this item for a period of, since you made the motion, Mike?
Until she answers the questions.
Meeting?
30 days.
Okay. So, have a motion to continue this item, for staff to gather the additional information they've asked for us to be able to make a final decision. I have a motion and a second. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed?
Nay.
And do you want to state the reason?
My reason is that it appears that staff has given her a lot of opportunity to respond, and then to not show up tonight, and then also with the information provided by the condo association, I don't feel like there's a reason to continue to drag it out.
Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, so this item has been continued for those who have come. It will come before us again. Mike, you can watch the agendas. I don't think there'll be a lot of, we just want a little more information to be able to make the decision. So,
I think part of that, though, is that I'd like Mr. Florence to visit with Brian Hawes about the legal aspects of it.
yeah, probably for us to legally see what our options are within that, because we are bound by law if there is a conditional, if they can mitigate them, to help them mitigate them. So, so far, they have not been able to meet that threshold.
Right.
So, okay. We will move on to item 5 of our staff report. This is a site plan approval for the Nutra Cost Athletic Center at approximately 1200 West, 700 North in Lindon. The applicant is Jason Brown. If you want to come up, Jason.
See you guys again.
Yeah, it's good to see you again. And our presenting staff is Mike Florence. So we will turn and this also is administrative, so this does not go to the council. It's our decision here.
Stays with us.
So we'll turn the time over to Mike Florence.
All right, thank you, commissioners. Wanted to give just a little bit of background. It's been a little over a year since you've last kind of had reviewed this project with the development agreement. If you remember, this was August 26th, well, sorry, when was it? It was August 20, well, that's 2025 when this was finally signed, but May 29th, 2024 about. The developer submitted for a zone change and a general plan amendment to rezone the property at approximately 1200 West, 700 North. At that time, we put together a development agreement and a zone change, a general plan amendment for this property here. At that time, these were the exhibits in the development agreement that the developer was proposing: an 88,000 square foot warehouse facility that would function as 50% of the building would be a warehouse, and then 50% would be a sports training and tournament facility. So this was the renderings from the building. And then these were the materials. They were an architectural metal panel that would be on the exterior of the building. And then this was the original site plan for an 88,000 square foot building. The two retail pads outside, on the site, were not part of the development agreement. They were part of the exhibit. We had discussion about that. That's why we, when we rezoned the property to, you can see that here, when the property was rezoned, we kept the front part as Lindon Village zone, the back part as mixed commercial. We rezoned the back part to mixed commercial. So those two retail pad sites were conceptual only. The development agreement was about the warehouse building. And so you'll see one on the site plan now. That'll come forward to you at a future date for site plan approval and is not part of this application. But that's why I wanted you to at least have some background. Why originally it showed two, now there's one retail building on there. If you look at let me go to the aerial photo. If you look at the surrounding uses, to the north is Pleasant Grove. They've got a manufacturing district. To the east is the Lindon Village zone. There's two kind of office buildings. They do some distribution there as well. These two buildings predated that Lindon Village zone. To the west is Lindon Village, and to the south is Lindon Village as well. One of the purposes in why we amended the zoning and the general plan to put a development agreement in place was because this is a difficult site to develop, in that your adjoining property to the north is a transfer station. And so it's a
Yeah.
no, it's not a dump, it's a transfer station.
Of garbage. Yeah.
They put it in a building, they transfer it out west. So so this site helps to cover up that area as well. It kind of transition better to our Lindon Village zone as well. So what the developer's proposing now is, here's the floor plan for that site. And I'll give a overview, Jason can go more into detail, but 4 multi-purpose courts, some office space, locker room space, concession space as well. That'll take up 50% of the building. The other 50% will be warehouse. What the development agreement anticipates is that at some point, Mr. Brown will incorporate 4 more courts into the other side so that the entire space becomes a tournament space and sports training facility. Here's your site plan for the development. The building has increased from 88,000 square feet to 118,000 square feet. The site is 7.19 acres. You can see the parking. There's about 340 parking stalls on site. Now that does exceed our parking requirement by about 100 stalls. If you've ever been to one of these tournament facilities on a Friday and Saturday, there's never enough parking. And so that is one item that is appreciated with this, is that there's ample parking on this site. There's a new one that was built about 2 years ago in Mapleton, and it's probably got 40 stalls, and people park half a mile up and down the street. Jason did a comparison of all the different sports training facilities, tournament sites, and none of them have enough parking. I think the most had 150 stalls or something like that.
You're a seasoned veteran in that too. Let him maybe, he's, I don't know if you guys all know, his daughter plays volleyball, so he's very well-versed in no parking. So that's one thing we were shooting for as much as possible, not having people park a mile away to get into a tournament, so.
Let's see, let me talk about landscaping for a few minutes. So our city code has a.
We did, sorry, Mike, to cut you off. Mike did convince us to upgrade our building. Want to go to the new rendering of it?
Well, I kind of got my presentation here, so
Okay,
let me
all
talk
right.
about landscaping, and then we'll jump to the building. So 700 North has its own profile section. It is owned by UDOT. The city built that, then turned it over to UDOT. So here's that road profile. So you've got a 12-foot landscape easement, a 10-foot sidewalk easement, and then you finish out with your 8 feet of landscaping on the other side of the sidewalk. So it makes up your 20 feet of landscaping that's normal in our commercial zones. And so that's why the developer does exceed this. He's got 12 feet in this landscape easement, and then 13 feet behind the sidewalk. That also plays into his overall landscaping requirement. If we go to the overall landscape plan, and this will probably be a lot of our discussion. Come on, it's being slow, sorry. This is a big file. Okay. So the code requires that that the site have trees planted every 30 feet. 700 North is also unique in that there's a specific tree species that's required for 700 North. Lindon City has a tree board, and years ago they adopted a specific tree that different trees that need to be planted along there. So the London Plane and Zelkova trees are required along this section of 700 North. As you go east of Geneva, there's different sections of trees. And so all along that corridor, it calls out specific tree requirements, so which this plan would meet. Couple things to look at. Our commercial general ordinance. So the Lindon Village Zone landscaping section refers you to the commercial general requirements. that say you've got to provide 20% of the site in landscaping. The development agreement that that was adopted says that you'll follow those landscaping requirements in the general commercial zone. And so that 20% requirement is required for this site as well. The applicant has a lot of landscaping along 700 North. He meets the landscaping requirement for the interior parking lot. We require 40 square feet for every parking stall, so there's ample interior parking lot. There's these plaza areas in 3 different sections in front of the building. However, with all that combined, that equals 14% of the site, so we are short on that. The ordinance does say a development shall provide 20%. And so that is something we're going to need to discuss tonight and on how we're going to move forward with that. So any questions on that landscaping requirement? Okay. Let's go to the renderings. So the building originally was designed as a steel building, and Jason can talk more about that. It's now transitioned to a concrete tilt-up building. The exterior will still be an architectural metal panel over top of that concrete tilt-up. You can see the different roof slopes on that. It's mainly a flat roof, but it's built up so that those sections of the roof look like they slope on there to provide some variation. Kind of look at
basically what happened on that is, obviously a steel building's a little more economical to build. This is about 20% more to build. With some tariff issues and all sorts of stuff, it was gonna kick us back and delay us quite a bit on the building. So it's a better built building. It's a sandwich panel. So basically it's like concrete insulation, concrete construction. But those are the positives. It's way more efficient in heating and cooling. The negatives are obviously the expense behind that. So.
A couple things on the building. I like the design of it. I like the materials. Couple things. I like the awnings over the east and west entrances, as you can see on there. And I've noted a bunch of these things in your staff report. The windows. Go back to this one. The windows are kind of like a storefront window. They go all the way to the ground. They have, if you look on this one, there's kind of a transom look across the top that's required with our ordinance. The 70% glass along the bottom, the ordinance mentions 70%, and so this would exceed that requirement. The height is 52 feet. The ordinance allows it to go up to 80 feet in height. Couple things that we have asked for is city staff that this section here that's in the middle in gray, you can see it here. Staff feels like that needs something to help break up that section. It's 86 feet in width. The ordinance recommends every 30 to 50 feet that panels be broken up or bays be broken up. So we feel like either some canopies or a change in material or something like that in that middle section needs to occur on that middle section of the building. We've also asked about lighting on the building and in the plaza areas and walkways. We feel like that needs to be added. If you look at the landscape plan around the patio areas or plaza areas, there is landscaping, raised landscaping beds, there's benches, those types of things. I think that's gonna be right in the middle of the sun during the day, during tournaments. I'd love to work with the developer more on how does that shaded a little bit more if you've got people out there eating lunch or things like that. That was one of the recommendations in the staff report. Let me review, let's see. Couple things, just with the, like the elevations, staff has asked that, it was hard to tell on these renderings, on the sections that don't have an overhang. We do require some type of decorative cornice treatment. So that was one of the questions staff had on there. So I think that's mainly it. Some of those items we've brought up, like the lighting, that middle gray section there, the cornice treatment. Those are kind of staff's main concerns with the design to help enhance that a little bit more. Let's see. I think that pretty much covers my presentation. Let me see if I've missed anything else. Yeah, I think that covers it. Do you have any questions for me?
Questions for Mike?
Go ahead. Oh, I just have a question about, remind me, I know we talked about this last time, for getting into the facility, can they only turn off of 700, turn right to get in? Because there's that median, right, if I remember right, or is there an option to get in?
Let's see, do you remember on that?
So all the
Jason?
lots have to have like a, what is that called? Like a breezeway access, right, Mike, to the corner?
Yeah, so this site plan shows that, so you can,
Okay.
this is a full movement intersection right here. So you can get in and out that way, and now,
That's with the adjoining lot, right? That
But I'm saying to the west, if you go further west, just like I have a connection into the lot next to me on the east,
yes.
they have to allow that on the west also, so you could come in on that light
Oh, okay.
all the way through.
Oh, okay.
Does that make sense?
Entrances on 700 North, and then you do have two connections on the west boundary line there. You have this one here and here that will both eventually lead to the next lot and through those properties, and you could go out the light if you needed to.
Okay, that helps a lot. Also, I was wondering on the landscaping, I mean, you're bringing up that it could be a concern, but that would give up parking, right, to do more landscaping? Is that kind of the
It could give up,
Because I
yes.
like the parking, I would keep
Yeah,
it.
me too.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been to plenty of those facilities and I've never seen one with as good a parking as that.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
And listen, I'm coming to committee, I guess, asking for you guys' advice on this thing, but for us, it would basically be us, if you go back to the back of the building, Mike, we would basically be erasing all those overflow parking in the back to get the landscape
Yeah, it's not worth
to
it.
where it would wanna be.
Yeah.
I'm not sure you have to do that. You don't have to put your landscaping there in the back.
But that's where it would go, because we're not gonna adjust anything.
Well, I think the council and the planning commission can discuss that
Yeah.
because it is short on that percentage of landscaping. Now, currently, it's staff's recommendation that it doesn't meet the code, so we don't feel like you can approve it tonight with the way because it doesn't meet the landscaping code. Our recommendation is that anytime someone proposes something that doesn't meet the code, you either try to amend the code, or in this case, you could also try to amend your development agreement.
So we could
Where are
amend,
they?
6%, which is about 14,000 square feet.
That's gonna be,
So it's about 86 stalls worth if you
yeah,
times.
that's
Yeah, this is a very unique facility.
yeah, and
And parking is essential. I think
Paramount.
the need for parking far exceeds the need for plants.
does the landscaping have to be in the parking lot, or can it be in, like, the courts?
It could be we're counting those courts already as part of the
They
landscaping.
could put more landscaping in the courts and help.
But it's not going to count, because we're already counting the area.
I mean, you know,
Go ahead.
let's get rid of you could say we get rid of the retail pad, but I think that's still way more important than
Which
landscaping.
we already have,
And you had to,
we already have that planned for a business to go in there.
yeah, so
It's also hard because the building is increased by
Right.
Right.
30,000 square
Yes.
feet.
Correct.
So let me just give you some reference on that. It was just, it wasn't this, it was depth, and the reason why is because on the volleyball courts, we are at the very bare minimum that you have to have, which is 10-foot setbacks for serving. That's why it got deeper.
Yeah. No, having a daughter I came straight from her game today.
Yeah.
You know, that plays volleyball, and, it's a mess. The tournament places that you go to are a mess, so. So from what you were saying, Mike, I just want to clarify. The ordinance is, and Brian's not here, but the legality
But
of,
I have run this by Brian.
that we can,
Amend the development
amend
agreement.
with a development agreement and go against that? Or are we gonna have to change the ordinance?
You could amend the development agreement.
And the development agreement would allow us to do something other than the ordinance?
That's correct, but you have to go through the public hearing process for that development agreement. So it would have to come back to you. So an application would need to be filed to amend the development agreement. It would then come to you for a public hearing, then go to the council for final approval.
Okay, that would be the process, okay.
Which sounds like it's a 30-day delay, right, Mike?
That's
Which
correct.
for 86 stalls personally, I would prefer that. But, it's all on you guys, obviously.
Well, and
But-
so that's our first question to you, is a 30-day delay
We're
killer to it?
We're about 6 months delayed where we wanted to be, to be
Yeah.
fair. But I don't know if this question more is Mike, if it's something that like our builder's ready, our stuff's ready, if we can at least move dirt and get moving, I don't know that whole thing would change much on, does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Would be
mean, we don't
would be
usually
my-
have a problem, as long as you get your SWIP in place, you talk to our engineering department, have a pre-con, they usually will let you start excavating, or at least moving some dirt around and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, so,
I have a question.
go ahead, Sharon.
I thought I read somewhere in the staff report, and I'm trying to find it, where staff gave some suggestions to the applicant of how they could pick up some additional landscaping with that requirement.
Yes, so if you look at for example, you've got a stall length that's 20 feet. We only require 18 feet. So you could pick up 2 feet here. A driveway width is only 24 feet. You could pick another 2 feet up there. So you've got 6 feet right there that you could pick up. Or, 5 feet right there you could pick up. You also don't have any landscaping along this west boundary that's required as well. So you could pick up some there. As I went through it, there's 5,000 to 7,000 square feet you could pick up, just making small little tweaks
And not
like
lose a
that.
single space.
And not losing
Well,
a
my only thing to that is if you're trying to provide the right experience, like I don't think anyone likes to go into places that it's door dings, you feel super cramped, you can't, traffic's in there, it's so narrow, you can't get around anywhere. So everything adjustment wise like that, to that extent, comes with some kind of,
No,
you know.
this doesn't. All stalls are 9 feet wide, unless you go to Costco. And so this is the exact
That's why we
same
love
stall width.
Costco.
Yeah, that's why we all love Costco. But the stall width is the same as anywhere you're gonna go to, at 9 feet. What's
No,
the
I guess
difference
my-
is the
I
20
guess
feet.
I'm saying passing lanes when you're pulling out of these places after a tournament and you're really squoze in there trying to, so I'm just saying any kind of added congestion you get is, in my opinion, not like the
So like
best
with
thing
these,
for
with
that.
these increases that we're talking about, picking up 2 feet here, are we still not in compliance?
We're not. One thing we had talked about was, your next application is subdividing the property, and that one should probably be, continued as well, and if that's the direction you go. But so here's how it's laid out. You've got lot 1 in the front and lot 2 in the back. One discussion we had is could you make sure you've got the 20% landscaping on lot 1, and then The mixed commercial zone requires 15% landscaping. Could you then require the 15% on lot one? Their engineer did look at that. Currently, lot one is 2,000 square feet short at 17, it's at 17%. And then lot two in the back, you'd still have to add, it's at 11%, you'd have to add 8,700 square feet in the back on lot two.
And what about that west boundary? You were talking about that west side?
I'm on that west boundary as well. That was,
Yeah.
we had that on a previous comment.
You know, can I just make?
Yeah, go ahead.
One suggestion too is, I'm not suggesting that we're wrong, but maybe we ought to look at our development plan and some of our codes, and when you start getting into a larger development like this, maybe the landscaping requirements shouldn't be quite as great as when it's a smaller development. Because usually the larger ones, parking is prime. And quite frankly, if you do a ton of landscaping, snow removal becomes harder, you know, there's a lot of things that become harder. I think we're gonna have to figure out a way to get more landscaping, but maybe that's something we ought to look at too. Just a thought.
You know, I know the general movement here is, we live in a desert too, so more landscaping is more water, and, we haven't revisited that for a while, but I know.
We did pass a water-wise landscape ordinance about a year and a half ago, which cuts down on the amount of turf that can go in.
The amount of turf, so.
And based on the previous agreement we had with them, they had two lots for retail. What's caused that to change?
Parking,
Parking?
yeah, and just as you look at the flow of the parking lot and how it made less sense to do.
Well, so what you're saying too is, back to the original plan, I think if you fully build it out, you're gonna add a court. Cause you have 4 and 4 versus,
4 and 4.
and I think,
So currently, just so we're,
I guess it's about the same, okay.
to get you up to speed on all that is, we've been reached out to by like Pickler, for example. Pickler is very interested in actually taking a big section of that. So
Explain Pickler.
Pickler is like an indoor pickleball club.
Okay, if they're interested in the other half.
Yeah, they want 30 to 50,000 feet. So we're discussing that currently with them to see that. We've had soccer groups reach out to us. So it's kind of a little bit, our goal is to get the whole building into sports capacity. But whether that be basketball courts, volleyball courts for the whole thing or not, I don't know at this point. But we are having discussions with other sporting groups.
So I think what I'm trying to point out is the building is quite a bit bigger because of the orientation of the courts and everything. And so, that's why you have to get rid of one of those retail spots is what it's because you get rid of that whole row of parking that's there in the middle there, because it's.
So on the original development agreement, that was just a conceptual, that was actually, we weren't required to do retail,
Right.
but we want to do retail as much as we can, and,
I think that's the reason, is the building just takes up so much
The-
more
the
room
other
to
thing
get the same
too,
parking.
If all the parking isn't required, they could put another retail pad in. There is space for that. Go down the road 10 years there, maybe there is another retail pad that goes in.
Yeah, they could always take parking out and put a retail spot if they find that they have ample. I like the idea of starting with ample parking versus going the other way.
I noticed on the display, it looks like these are already striped for pickleball as well inside, aren't they? The way
Yeah,
it looked,
so
it looked like
it's
you added
fun.
some pickleball striping.
yeah, so originally
did
we're
pickleball
thinking that
last
we'd be running some pickleball stuff, in kind of odd hours.
Yep.
But then this group came to us and said, hey, we'd actually rather just take a big, so that's kind of we've had, 5 meetings with them so far, and they're pushing more than we're pushing, I guess I'd say at this point. And so we're just trying to figure that all out.
Do you still have a possible tenant on the warehouse side. I know before, a partner or something, I can't remember.
It is my
the-
partner.
Your
Yeah,
partner.
yeah, you remember right.
Right.
That someone had not, needed
It-
space, and so it was a space.
It
they
wasn't
could use.
even he needed space, it was just that we wanted to not put ourselves in financial, bad situation by trying to expand too quickly. Now, obviously, if it's a pickler that comes in, then that
That wouldn't,
solves.
it would just be
Right,
from the beginning.
yeah,
Okay.
from the beginning. Yeah, but it's neutral cost, but just, that was the plan. It's just
That-
basically is like a safety net for us as we started.
Okay,
That's
I
what
was
it was.
just trying to remember.
You
all that.
remember, it's been a while ago, that's a good memory.
I have a question. So, well, this, I don't want to get too far off target either, but if we were to change the development agreement so that it could accommodate the parking and the landscaping could be approved on this type of facility, some of these other changes, that the city is saying, they'd like to have lighting added, shading over the plaza areas, the middle gray section, canopies and change of material. Can you meet those okay?
Yeah, I mean, we've just, good question, and to answer that, we've actually substantially upgraded the materials. And obviously with this kind of building, from our first concept, it's quite a bit nicer. So we're obviously would have great lighting and,
So
we're
you
gonna-
could make some of
those are
those
easy,
other
yeah.
changes that we would like to have made.
Yeah, those are fairly easy adjustments.
If we could work with
just
you
to-
somehow on the landscaping.
Right.
Okay.
Sounds like we need to add a little bit, at least on the west side, or, of the landscaping, but it seems like that's all can be done in the a new development agreement.
Yeah, it'll need to come back to you, he'll need to file an application. I just wanna make sure, under the current zoning, let me show this to you. So in this Lindon Village zone, the property is divided up into like 23 districts, and each one of these is about 4 to 5 acres. And what it talks about is, that we're in District 14 right now. You have to provide us you have to provide some type of retail component out there on 700 North. So that's one of the purposes of that drive-through as well. So if each one of these is 4 to 5 acres, this property here 7, you gotta be careful as you're approving projects that you're creating some standard though. So that we're telling one property owner, oh, we're gonna allow 15%. Next guy, no, you gotta meet 20. And so you do have to be careful a little bit to be able to justify why you're doing that, because we are going to see a lot more projects along here, so.
So how can can you put that development agreement together so that doesn't open us up for problems with other?
Yeah, we've talked yesterday about some ways to do that. We talked about the portion that's in the Lindon Village zone. Do I have that up here? Meeting the 20%, the other portion maybe meeting the 15%. That would have a little bit of effect on parking. But it would.
From the calculation he did on that, Mike, it's like 45 stalls. So it's really comes down to, is it worth 45 stalls to do that?
And that's not something you have to answer tonight. We'll go through the development agreement for that.
I think as we go through the development agreement, that we also consider, in my mind, and I'm just speaking out loud here, but in my mind, this whole facility is a retail. I consider we're getting to tax base on all the entry fees, and why is that not considered
We don't get
retail?
sales tax off that.
We get zero
We
sales
get
tax
sales,
off that.
yeah, this building, unless he's selling a lot of hot dogs and start charging sales tax off that, nachos, we won't receive.
Which we are doing
Which
a lot
we-
of that.
What about equipment?
So we have, so
we
being sold inside, we have, big concession area, kitchen area, we have, neutral cost retail site inside for supplements and, you know, for athlete type stuff.
See, I think
So-
all that's gotta be taken into consideration.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, we don't have a problem with the retail. That hasn't come up at all as part of our,
I wouldn't let that be
Review.
a stumbling block.
Yeah, I think, unless don't wanna cut people off.
No, I
But
just
I
think we
think
need
we're
to.
going down the road that we're gonna continue this to have staff work on a development agreement so that we can come back. But I guess do we want to give, some guidance on what we feel comfortable with? Do we want to try to hit that higher standard? Or are we fine in this whole, even revisiting possibly in the future what the standard is, you know, as far as landscaping?
I think Rob brings up an excellent point on the bigger the building, maybe the ratio's gotta start going down on the required landscape part of it, cause man, we don't wanna underpark this thing.
And
Yeah.
and I think for the other types of buildings businesses we're hoping to get along, get along
Yeah.
there, they're not a parking hog like this would be. And so we really need to take that, and so that could be our justification, why we gave somebody slightly less landscaping to increase the parking, where that wouldn't necessarily apply to every other business that we hope to see along that corridor.
Although it
Well,
will
but-
apply to a lot of them.
But I think, you know, what we're talking, you know, a big box,
Yeah.
if that went in there, it's hard for me to picture in my mind that a Costco or a Sam's Club has 20%
Yeah.
landscaping. I just don't think they, you know, and, so I think we might have to think about what we do want there and how we're gonna try to require, what we're gonna require
Well,
there.
Costco probably has 2% landscaping, you know, maybe.
You know, so. True. So I think that's something we have to think about as we look at this development. Do we want more of the, I mean, you know, the Riverwoods flow, where there's tons of landscaping, or are we gonna have more of, and, you know, that's what we have to consider as we do this, but I'm comfortable, personally, I'll just state my opinion, I'm comfortable with the plan as it's drawn. It's what, at 14%? Is that what you?
now, right now it's 14, 17 on lot 1 and 11 on
You know,
lot
so
2.
maybe we get it to 15, so that it's a round number, you know, just for me, you know, and maybe that's where I'm comfortable, but, that's just my kind of direction to staff as we work on a development agreement. What about anybody else?
I'd second that.
Well,
Think it needs to come up, but not a lot.
Is there a way that we can work with, you know, with this facility and still not open up that for everything that goes in there, having less, on that 700 North Strip, having less landscaping now?
Maybe I think we just have to write it into the development agreement, our
Yeah.
justification
Yeah,
for that.
Sliding scale, like we talked about. The
Yeah.
larger the building, the percentage may drop.
because we don't want to open ourselves up into problems with everything else that goes in there.
Jared,
well, it may be a dumb comment, but I wonder if there's a parkable green space that could be opened up for larger tournaments or whatever, sort of like concrete grids with grass in between it, that could count as green space, but then when it's needed, could be parked on. I know that doesn't, so you wouldn't necessarily call it parking, you know, meet the minimum requirement for parking, but maybe there's a double function there.
Yeah,
Do you know
we
the
talked-
look I'm talking
We
about?
talked about that as city staff as well.
Just kind of that it's a concrete grid
Mhm.
and then grass in between that. Might be a thought.
So we can work on the development agreement with some of that feedback and
Anybody else that wants to second or an opinion or give a different one to staff?
I mean, I'd kind of like some direction. Do you like the idea of the 20% in the front, 15 in the back? Do you like just 15%? Or go as is with 14? I mean, a couple of you have said that, but
Yeah.
I lean more towards, I like it the way it is, but whatever we can do to, if there is a way to not give up parking and again, I think if we just, I'm totally happy with just, changing the development agreement to.
If we made the adjustment you talked about, Mike, on the west boundary, would that get us to 15%?
I don't know, I don't have that calculation.
That's what I was thinking. If we accomplish the west boundary, then that, once again,
That would give you
it
a
checks
round
another
number,
box.
which I'd get.
It
Yeah,
checks
well-
another box.
And I really like the way it is. I'm trying to balance here, you know, what is it giving to what I have for staff. I mean,
Well,
and if you write something in that the bigger the building and those types of things, I'm actually
I
fine with the way
wouldn't
it is.
shorten the stalls on both sides of that west parking lot. I mean, as bad as not having parking, and it's kind of been brought up, I hate pulling into a parking lot with a pickup truck that the stalls are so short, you don't have a maneuverable space to get in and out with that. I mean, it's
You
just.
sound like a truck guy like me,
Such a
Mike.
big pickup.
He's gonna have to do something, he's gonna have to do something though to shorten those to pick up that landscape
They
area.
just be shortened on one side, so both sides aren't short.
Yeah, the landscaping
It's
needs to be
18
about
feet, so
4 feet
short.
in width, so.
Well, I think we gotta keep in mind that it's a lot of people coming and going at the exact same time, cause when a game ends, a bunch of people are leaving, a bunch of people are coming. So I like that idea of only shortening one side.
Yeah, I mean, or,
Just gonna depend how he can pick up
Yeah.
enough
Yeah.
room for the landscaping.
and is it, I guess, where are we getting the requirement of, for the west side landscaping?
Yeah.
That's something we could change in the development
So
agreement.
anytime you have parking, our parking code says it's gotta be, like this island right here on the west side, the Title 17.18 says you have to have at least 4 feet, of a landscape strip for it to count for interior landscaping.
For it to count, but is that something we can change in the development agreement?
You can, but
Okay,
I
so-
wouldn't,
Do you want
So,
to?
so we could, well, I guess what I'm saying, from just a development agreement standpoint, legality, we could approve this as is.
you could, but
Okay.
then you're putting the burden on the next property owner
Right.
to the west to then add that 4 feet
How
of
many of these big
landscaping.
box type things do we see going?
Well,
in
Hope a
these?
whole bunch.
We don't know that.
Well, that's why I say
We got
don't.
another guy that's down on the west end that's just purchased the second lot from the west, and he wants 80,000 square feet of commercial.
Great.
So like full retail, what are we talking?
Well, retail out front, office in the back.
That, yeah, that sounds great too.
Yeah.
So if we were to leave the 20-foot in the front and then make the adjustments in other areas on the landscaping, I mean, what could we bring the landscaping up to then? What percentage?
I don't know for sure without doing the calculation.
Yeah,
My recommendation is though that you look at things like for a trade-off, how can we enhance those plaza areas then? Cause they're gonna be
right.
100 degrees on the concrete there, so, you know, what are some shade structures you could do or something for people to sit out there?
If we decrease the other landscaping requirement,
Mhm.
I like
My
that.
experience has
I
been-
like that,
yeah.
yeah.
My experience has been in the long run, usually the landscaping islands in the middle of the parking lots end up being dead landscaping.
Yeah.
Or ugly because cars and
Oh, yeah.
truck drivers like Mike drive over them.
Well,
Snow
You
plows,
don't even need to put it in
putting up
four-wheel drive to do that.
The mowers do that too. I was down at the Riverwoods and this guy's driving up on it without a ramp and it just, it
So
chews it
sometimes
all up.
we put a requirement thinking, oh, we want to make this thing beautiful. And so we require a lot of landscaping in it. Sometimes that's self-defeating, I think.
Yeah.
But I think at least that front part needs to meet the standard.
And it does, like as far as the widths, I agree, yeah.
Yeah, I think that front part needs to meet.
That part of that, your justification for reducing it could be for additional amenities in these plaza areas or something that people are going to use.
and I think we're all of the opinion, well, not all, maybe, I'm of the opinion, a lot of us are of the opinion, would rather have good parking than trying to squeeze a 0.5% of landscaping out of this thing.
Right, and I agree. I'm just saying I like having the landscaping in the front. meet the
Yes, and
standard.
I don't think we're saying to do anything with the front. It's on the west side.
And,
I would rather have shade over the plaza area than maybe stuff on the west side.
and I agree with that too. Yeah, I just like the landscaping requirement on the front especially.
Just a footnote, we might want to take a look with our tree board. I don't think you want to recommend we be planting London plane and sycamore trees right now. They're all dying.
Yeah, well, let me,
The Zelkovas are good.
yeah, Zelkovas, and it was the London plane.
Yeah, London's not good.
I can talk to him about
Around the
that.
city, you see people pulling them out, and they're the ones that lose their leaves, and
Yep,
Yep.
I know which one you're talking about now.
Okay,
It's never been on my plant list.
yeah, we can talk to him about that
Yeah.
and see their
just a
opinion.
side note.
You know, and I think another thing that can put in there as a reason we're giving is this does block the transfer station. I think we forget about how maybe vital that is to get something that will take care of that view or this, you know, what's behind there, right? I mean, this is a great way to do it, and you have basically the excess parking's back there, but there's nothing else really back there, and
Yeah.
it's a great way for a piece that's gonna be really difficult to develop otherwise. So I think those all can be our justifications in the,
Well, and again, a reasonable developer's not gonna be looking to have a lot of extra spaces unless they really need them.
right.
To me, landscape's cheaper than hard surface. So, at the end of the day,
Tears things up eventually.
so I guess, you know, if we get a bunch more of these similar type uses, I think we'd be inclined to do the same thing we're trying to do here. Then,
Yeah, I would say to have better parking, and
yeah,
it'll be a better experience for the visitors to our city if they come and can use the facilities we have built versus go into a neighborhood to park and
Well,
make them all
And
upset.
parking on 700 is not a good option. We've had that problem before.
Oh, no,
that's
I
what'll
don't think so
happen.
either.
Yeah.
Probably red zone.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so,
Well, so if we continue this, so staff can continue to work on the development agreement, make some changes there, don't we have to continue the next item also?
yes, so,
Okay.
and I don't know if you even want to go through any of the presentation if we're thinking of continuing, just do them
Yeah,
both.
it kind of did. It's divided into two lots. There's access easements so that properties can connect on both sides of this property. There's pedestrian connections as well. Again, it meets our minimum lot size for both lots on there. Yeah, I don't think I have anything else to add on
Is the
that.
applicant okay with us continuing this so we can go?
Yeah,
hurry
that
to-
was my only request on that, Rob, was that if I can start moving some dirt with the SWIP stuff.
Why can't we subdivide the lot? Without this landscaping thing.
Unless anything's gonna change, that's like, unless he changes something that we may,
Changing lot lines, you mean?
or changing maybe a drive aisle or something.
So on all,
Goes down, right now it goes
Dirt
down the
for
middle of a
footings
drive
and
aisle.
Things like that. So that's not gonna change probably.
No, that wouldn't change.
so on all these other suggestions, you know, that I kind of went through before, and applicants said, oh yeah, we can work with the city, we can do that. Staff can take care of that then,
We
right?
can, but I'd like that be brought back to you in the next
Okay.
month too for the
Okay.
development agreement.
Okay, that's great.
Yeah, and on it, I didn't know that the lighting stuff was missing on there or whatever, but we can,
Okay.
we definitely, we're gonna want it to look good. You know, it's an expensive building.
Yeah.
If we continue this though, he can't start work.
No, but
Moving
he
dirt
could
is-
possibly start just
Grading.
grading or something. I don't know, that's up to our city engineer.
Yeah, okay.
Did we still have some concerns about the 86-foot stretch that needed some elements on there, or?
That was a issue staff brought up that I think should be addressed on there. I can work with the applicant on that.
To me, if you put some nice signage up on that, and I don't know what your plan is on that, to me, that gives some variety there, but
Yeah, we are definitely putting signage in that area right there, is the
Yeah.
nature cost.
The commercial design standards specifically call out change of material or canopies or,
Yeah, but I don't hear him having any problems with dressing that up, whatever he needs to do to make that.
Are you talking about the west end?
No,
Right in the middle.
that middle part.
6 feet of gray.
I mean, if you go to the drawing there, Mike. The rendering.
He could change colors,
So
texture.
it's actually got a lot of change already with like depths, and it's not like a flat surface. It's,
Good windows.
there's variety, like it
Like
changed.
Mike said, it could be canopy, some few canopies
It's fine too.
put on there, some things, but I'm sure they can work that out.
Maybe two small canopies or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, something, that's
I
kind
don't
of
think
what
it
they're
needs
saying.
tons, I wouldn't. Just a little dressing up.
Do you have an idea of what you're hoping for in the retail space?
the pad
It's-
or the,
Yeah.
So my partner owns Cut Bop, so he's thinking about putting that there.
Owns what?
Cut Bop.
Oh,
Have you
okay,
tried Cut Bop? You might like it, Sharon. It's pretty good.
okay.
Yeah. Well, it's
Don't
like
go
it's
too spicy,
Korean.
Sharon.
It's Korean barbecue in a cup, basically.
That sounds great.
Yeah, it's tasty. So,
Mike, you
my
think
wife likes it. I don't know.
You think we've given you enough direction?
Yeah.
Anything else that anybody else wants to add? Okay, with that, I would probably call for a motion to continue this to allow staff and the applicant to work on the development agreement, and hopefully we can get it back as soon as
Okay.
they can get that done, so we can get it moving forward.
And you'll continue the next item.
Yeah, so we'll need two motions to continue both items.
So moved. I can
what
move to
numbers are-
continue can we do both items at the same time or two separate
I think you
motions?
better do two separate.
Two separate motions. So item 6, we have a motion from Mike to continue item 6. Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
We have a motion and a second to continue item 6. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? The motion carries unanimously. Do I have a motion? Oh, I guess that was item 5, sorry. Do I have a motion to continue item 6? The previous motion was to continue item 5.
I'll make that motion to continue it.
I have a motion to continue item 6. Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion carries unanimously. So those are both continued, so you can work out. I think you're close.
Okay.
We're excited to see this.
All right, guys. Getting there. Thank
Yep,
you,
getting
guys.
there. Thank you for all the hard work you put into this.
It's fun.
One consideration is you do the agreement and look at this. Think about if you decide to put another pad site, because I think you're gonna want to.
Yeah.
Will that throw you out of compliance as far as parking goes? So maybe take a look at that.
Yeah, they have, they've got an extra 100 stalls, so I don't know how many.
Yeah.
Yeah, and maybe I'm just turned into like I said, I've told you guys before, I've traveled all over the place doing this with my kids on, comp stuff. So I've become kind of a parking snob a little bit personally. So my biggest pet peeve going to these locations is that, like, pulling up and,
Yeah.
you know
As
what I mean?
many people as you have coming to these events now, they're gonna want a place to go grab something to eat.
Yeah.
That'll be,
They're gonna
Good.
want food.
There'll be food
We
inside
will
too.
have food inside. There'll be a lot of food
Yeah,
inside.
that's true.
Hopefully we have some nice options as we continue to develop out 700 North.
Yeah.
Yeah. PG keeps snagging them all.
Yeah, everything you can imagine.
Yeah, PG's,
We'll get 'em.
yeah.
Okay, thanks, Jason.
Thanks, guys.
Get the better ones.
Have a good night. Thanks, Mike.
Cory and Barb.
That would be apply for that development agreement, to amend your development agreement.
Harry's lost.
So Mike, if you're if you're redoing some parts of the development agreement, then you said it has to come back to us as a public hearing?
Yes, anytime you change anything that varies from your code, it has to go through the public hearing process.
So then it would go to city council also?
Yes,
So then that would involve them where this wouldn't have,
that's
right?
correct. Yep.
Okay.
I think if you met us halfway by just kind of tuning things up, and, I mean, I think we're all in agreement that we could potentially have a variance on that, but if there's a way to do it.
Okay.
I think the building looks better.
Yes.
It'd be nice.
Well, we've had 2 visitors with us. Welcome.
Yeah,
Hopefully you enjoyed our meeting.
Thanks for being here with us.
My
Were
guess,
you-
was this for a school assignment? Yeah. Hopefully we've schooled you in a great city of Lindon, how it is here. Okay. Item 7 on our agenda is our Community Development Director report and Commissioner reports. Anything from you, Mike?
For our next meeting, we plan on bringing you an ordinance amendment for an administrative law judge as an appeal authority. So right now, when a land use item is appealed, it goes to the Board of Adjustment. So if a conditional use permit or a site plan approval were appealed, it goes to the Board of Adjustment. We are going to change that. A lot of cities over the last 10 years have changed to an administrative law judge. Couple reasons why is you typically have an attorney that acts as that administrative law judge. They're more up to speed on land use matters. Our Board of Adjustment, unfortunately, sometimes only meets every 3 or 4 years. And so sometimes it's hard to keep trained in those types of things. So we're gonna be making some amendments to our zoning code and our
Board of Adjustment.
kind of our code in general is moving everything to an administrative law judge. So we'll bring
Seems like
that
a
to you
good idea.
at the next meeting, so.
Would that be a part-time employee of the city? or an
No,
appointment?
it's usually someone out,
And it wouldn't have to be a judge?
be a
of
member of our community, but we usually like,
With somebody real knowledgeable about planning and zoning, it could be somebody at large.
Brian is the administrative law judge for Lehigh City.
Oh, okay.
And so it could be usually someone with a law background, and sometimes they want to make that next step in their career too, and so.
Okay.
Sharon mentioned a possibility of a get-together this season.
I kind of backed him about it. So, wouldn't that be nice?
I'm open to it for October 3rd. Or do you want to do,
What day
it's
is-
a Friday?
it's a
Or
Friday.
do you want to do, I'm open. I'm open to
Can
doing
you-
it.
Can you do it that soon?
Yeah, I just have to move a couple of skeletons off the bar.
I think that would be really fun. Last time, though, you didn't let us provide, it seems like you didn't let us provide or help with it much. I think you should.
It's up to whatever, does that date work for October 3rd? That's a Friday evening.
That's yeah.
I do
I
too.
Okay, so there's 2 out, so we're already down a couple.
On what time, but I could probably come to part of it.
Go.
Yeah, that's,
You just come grab some barbecue and go.
And the 4th is
'Cause then if-
general conference.
Yeah, and then when you start pushing later, I'm out of town the entire next week, and then when you start getting to the 17th, now we're talking weather. It's getting a little cool.
What about Monday, the 6th?
Is
Does it
that a
have to be a
city
weekend?
council meeting?
Oh,
And
yeah,
I,
yeah, that's right. Are we in?
October the 6th, I'm leaving. I'm going out of town, so but I'm not saying this is October, let me see.
Yeah, we don't want it to get too cold.
Yeah, it would have to probably be next week if at all. If there's a time in that week that you guys feel that's good. The only time I cannot is on Thursday evening, I have a commitment, or Thursday afternoon, I have a commitment at the temple.
Well, we wouldn't have planning commission on the 30th, because it's the 5th week,
30th of what?
September.
I could do that.
Because it's the fifth Tuesday.
Yeah, I can't be there. I've already committed to have a church group over to ride horses, so.
Okay.
For me, it's volleyball season, so
What
Tuesdays are
about
hard.
the 1st of October? It's a Wednesday night?
Works for me.
Let me check my,
The what? 30th of October? Yeah, 1st of October works for me.
I could do that. We may not be able to get 100% of people, I mean, with this many people with busy schedules.
I'm open for the 1st.
What does the 1st look like?
Looks great.
I can't, but Brittany, can you come on the 1st?
You can't,
I have a church obligation every Wednesday night, so.
Yeah.
but we want you there.
Thanks a lot, guys. No, I'm just kidding.
I could also do the 2nd.
If I was done by 7, I could run straight to that. I could do something like that
On the 1st.
on the 1st.
So what time would you want it at?
If we started maybe at 6, and
And
you
I could leave early.
eat and then leave,
5:30.
would that work? You gotta have it work for you, though.
Who, me?
Mm-hmm.
No, it's fine for me. I'm retired. As long as I'm in town, I'm available.
Maybe even 5:30.
5:30?
Did everybody make it at 5:30?
So maybe you've got,
And then that would
still
get
got
you a
work
little bit more
commitments,
time.
but can you scoot
Want me to
out
run
a
that by
few
the mayor and
minutes
city
early?
council?
Do we want to invite them to as well?
Or do you want, or sorry, I didn't know if you wanted to do it the same as last year, or if you wanted to just do the planning commission.
With this short notice.
With this short notice, I
Maybe
think it's
just
probably
do
just
Yeah.
keep it to what we can control.
Okay.
And then we could include the member of the city council that's over us,
Okay.
Lincoln.
So Lincoln and Ryan,
Yeah,
they're the two that aren't here.
right, we can include those.
So you're thinking 5:30 then, on the 1st?
5:30 is gonna
Does that work for you guys, though?
be, who are you talking to?
You,
I'm fine with it.
since I kinda got you going on this.
How about why don't we do something simple like a baked potato bar and salads? And then some
That's
people,
fine.
I could do the baked potatoes and everybody just brings a side salad to share,
Salad or
whether it's a
dessert?
salad or a dessert or
Okay.
whatever.
Yeah,
And I'll just do all the baked potatoes and the
yeah,
fixings.
that'd be fun,
Is that simple enough?
Yeah.
yeah. Sounds really fun, that's really nice of you to.
Really nice of you to ask. No, and I'm fine with it. I have no problem with it at all.
It was just nice to do that. Okay, I better put that on
Commissioners,
my
is it
calendar.
plus
It'll be
one?
Commissioners and wives,
Okay, commission, and, or husbands.
and you're plus one,
From the
spouse, plus one, whatever.
Leave your wife.
Yeah.
Okay, any other, anything else from
I have a
commissioners?
question, and Rob probably can answer it, but you might, so they're putting this fence in here on Main Street as you go down the hill. I thought we approved a lot in there when they put together that plat. Is
There
that,
a lot. They're only stopping where that fence is, and then there will be a lot.
so the lot is on the uphill then?
No, he's covering in front of the lot. He doesn't know if he's gonna build there, so we've had that
There is
discussion.
a lot there facing south.
There
too.
is, so we've had that discussion with him. When he builds the lot, he's gotta pull that fence out and create a clear view area for that, so.
You'd have to pull out the fence that he's installing
Yeah.
to do that? I knew there was some water issues you had to work through down there too.
Yeah,
I
he's putting
thought.
some gates in for the city, so we have access and, yeah.
Okay. I was just surprised to see it being covered because I thought I remembered approving a lot on that
Yeah,
plot, flat.
yeah, I'm not sure he's ever gonna build on that, but
Not sure he is either.
The north and west side of the cemetery, they're clearing it now, like they're doing something. Are they doing something now? I mean, they just
I believe
removed the
they are,
fence.
yeah,
They are moving forward with the cemetery expansion now.
so, yeah.
Any other questions or comments, or?
Oh, I do have one that I wrote down. You talked about this large retail proposed something coming in?
Yeah,
What is that?
we don't have a site plan yet. We've sat down with the owner. He closed on this property right here about 2 weeks ago. And so we had some preliminary discussions that he wanted to do about 80,000 square feet of commercial space there. It'd be broken up into 5 or 6 buildings, have some retail right out on 700 North, and then development in the back.
But isn't that what we would like?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
I just haven't seen a site plan, an official site plan yet.
So it isn't just one place, it's multiple retail type?
Yes,
Like a strip mall type thing almost?
yeah. Originally, he wanted to do an indoor baseball academy, but he couldn't fit a baseball field on there, so.
Well, he could if he bought 2 lots.
And then I couldn't come to the Meet the Candidates thing last night, but I listened to it online. And Carolyn was talking about someone that had property under contract. Is that in that meeting?
I didn't listen to the meeting, I apologize, so I'm not sure which one
Okay.
she's talking about.
She just said there was someone that had,
Like the south side of 700 North is still under contract by Castlewood.
well, maybe that's what she's talking about.
Yeah,
Yeah, she didn't give any specifics, so.
From what I understand, that's gotta move fairly quickly because they're gonna start making payments on it first of the year or something.
yeah, that's what months ago, that's what they told us their due diligence was on it. I don't know if things have been extended or what. Since the big box retailer kind of fell out, things have been a little bit slower in communication with them.
Okay.
Those are the questions I had.
Anything else? Okay, I'll call for a motion to adjourn.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
We have a motion, a second. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? The meeting is adjourned.
We did a good job tonight. We continued everything.
But we're still here till 7:30, so.
And